Hey, wood turners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle, and welcome to the shop. It's been a while, been a rough month, but I got some projects working, doing some things. Right now I got the speed control open on my one-way. See that little knob right there? That little thing? That is called a variable speed resistor, or rheostat. And that's what does the power up, power down, or speed up, speed down, because I always got 3 horsepower. Speed up, speed down on the armature. Mine sat in one spot, 3 years, and humidity, which we got a lot of down here, and it created an arc in a flat spot. And it wasn't until I was doing a demo for you a couple of weeks ago, I went to turn the speed down and realized I went from 1,000 RPMs to 1 RPM. There was no in between, and that was kind of awkward. So I'll tell you where I got this at right after this. But first, you know what you got to do, because it's in rules. You got to watch. Now, so we're straight. This is a one-way 2436 lathe. I've had this in the shop for I think 8 years now. It's been around a while, but and I've always been friends with the family at One Way Lathe Company. And when the speed controller got wet a couple of years ago and needed to be reworked, One Way did the rework on it, rebuild on it. When the switches started acting up and the stop and don't stop switch was acting up, I got replacement parts from One Way. Well, when this acted up, I opened it up and looked at it and said, you know what? I can bother the folks at One Way and call them and ask for this part. Or I can just go to the website. I went to Newark, NEWARK.com, and I looked up this part. How'd I find this part? On the back of it, it says RV4NAYSD202A, and then it gave some other specifications. You know what this one says? RD4NAYSDA22. Exact same specifications. Exact same thing. It is a potentiometer, or rheostat, variable speed resistor, and it's made to replace this one. And it's so simple to do. 3 solder points, take them off, put them back on, and get it done. And then my lathe will be ready to rock and roll, full speed, full bore. And what I started off with about, I'm a great fan of One Way and the companies. Yeah, but you do know that parts and pieces might not be the way they relish. They make fine equipment. They don't relish selling parts and pieces. Maybe they do, but the overall, they build a hell of a lathe. This thing is old, and it's seen a little use. Yeah, I did put it through some use and some abuse. And it's still chugging away and going well, and as smooth as can be. And for that little rheostat to change, and the backs of the switches, you don't even make those switches anymore. You got to go to somebody like Newark to get those pieces. They snap off, snap on. You know, it's really nice. That's why when I get a source like this, I like to share it with you. I like to come right straight away to you and tell you. So I ordered this part. The whole thing is the part shipped to me from wherever this place is at. Didn't have their, oh, South Carolina, Gaffney, South Carolina. Yeah, $10. Okay, don't get upset. I'm not bothered by the fact that it's $10, or it's only $10, but it's only $10. I've had some of the other distributors charge more than that for freight for something that weighs less. So that's why when I find something like this, I share it with you. I also started telling you, I talked to One Way about it. If I called One Way and talked to Susan or any of the folks up there, we'd be settling this too. But I had an opportunity to do what was necessary at the time, and it worked out really great. Now, I want to build some rings out of plastic. and I'm going to do the whole thing in one video. But I bought some beautiful wood, some beautiful plastic. My wife picked out some of these blue blanks, and I bought some rings, and I bought the big size, the 13, which at that time on a catalog, this is craft supplies. At that time, catalog 13 was as big as they got. These big meat paws, 13 will work, but it really likes 14. And I got a little $5 doohickey at Amazon that I can size the rings on. It goes all the half sizes up to 27 pieces or something. But a lot of that's in a different language, and I don't read that. But it works. It's got the code on it. So I sized myself, I sized the wife, ordered the parts, and got it and ready to go. Then I got to thinking about it. To do this right, I saw it on a YouTube. The guy took this block of wood and he double stuck it to the face of something and he started spinning it. And it sounded really cool. Then I got to thinking about you. Yeah. Would that be really cool for you? Don't think it would be. Here's the deal. Square block, brown, and it's going to spin. And I want to stick a tool in there. Oh, did you see that? It hits. It hits, it hits, it hits. The goal of this was to show you how simple you can do it on the original YouTube I saw. Great tubes, but I want to show you how to do it a little bit safer. Not that you have to, but I think you should. And if you start with the plan that I will be a little safer, I will do it right, you will do it safer, and you will do it right. So let's start off with that, okay? And to start with, I'm going to go over here to the lathe. I want you to follow me, so I got to move some stuff. Now, if I did this right, you're looking at my one-way lathe, and I've got my stronghold #1 profile jaws on here, because that's what I just turned off of. But I want to change them to a #2 jar so I can hold one of these different face plates, which are all sized to my #2. How do I know that? Because I have this little gauge that tells me that would be the right size for the #2. See the little gauge? That little flat spot, that's the width of the perfect fit for a #2. See the groove? That's the perfect fit for the inside dimension if you want to reach, if you want to put a depression and grab it from the inside out. When I say perfect fit, what I mean is the jaws uniformly will be at this dimension, and it works a lot nicer. And that little jig is made out of corian, and it really saves me a lot of problems. It's one of the tips that you guys shared with me. But I want to change these jaws. Now, Carl Jacobson, awesome wood turner, a little bit of an outlaw, awesome wood turner. Did I mention the outlaw? Okay. He has a video out where he's changing these jaws in like 9 seconds. And I know Robin's there with him and she's egging him on. But I don't have one of those fancy clocks. But if you can count with me, let's change this from a #1 for a #2. And this is going to be on my one-way stronghold chuck, the big one. Okay? Are you ready? Go. All right. You saw that? Here's the thing. I don't have to bend down to pick up those parts I threw on the floor. Or you threw on the floor, Carl. Mine are right here. And I guess what I'm going to is, if you got money for a lathe and money for tools, you do have money for 2 chucks. Be smart, buy them. Got a couple of things to talk to you about. One of them is Carl. You know, sometimes you live in the hell you create. Well, I do. Carl Jacobson's a great turner. He really is. And he does a lot for the world of wood turning. And that is, he does a lot of demonstrations. He's got a trailer. I think his wife makes him live in that thing. But he does all these things, and he's always showing you innovative ways to create things in your shop. And a while back, 2 years or so ago, Carl had something he showed at one of his demonstrations, and this is not the cross of death or anything. You see the burning on that piece? This is a simple cross. I say simple, that was not nice. This is a cross done by a guy named Trim Treecoot out of Louisiana. And Tim did this, and it's real red oak. And then he took and I gotta get my paper over here so I can read it, a Lichenberg burning rig, and put these lines in it with that burning rig. And that's the one where you put the two probes on and I talk about Carl being the outlaw because about the time that Carl did this big project on this, and he did it on a platter or a bowl or plate or something, the AAW, in their infinite wisdom, decided they were going to outlaw any exhibition containing this because people were getting hurt. When I said infinite wisdom, there was my tongue rubbing on the inside of my cheek. How can an organization built up of guys that are much older than their prime, I'm sticking with that, working on machines with the horsepower, sharp tools, spinning wood, and with no formal lessons available anywhere, how can they say this will kill you when the things that'll kill me are all over here if I just lose my mind and don't pay attention to it? This is done with fractal burning, and it is very safe. But don't make your own. I mean, there's a huge transformer on that pole outside, 13,000 volts, 13,800 volts out there. And I can go out and do something, and I can probably get something rigged up to where I can do this. Or I can just buy the factory-made kit and follow the instructions. And I won't take that chance. I think what they missed was they, being the AAW, and some of the other groups that have object to it, it's not what's done, it's who's doing it and how. And if we take a closer look at our world and what happens, we can do this. We can do it safely. I'm going to Waco in a couple of weeks. Oh yeah, Waco is SWAT, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August 2018. It is the world's greatest wood turning exhibition. And I want to meet a man that makes these tools and can teach you how to use these tools and do it right and be safe. And I'm getting one. I am. Well, I'm not going to go into a cross business with Tim. He's really got that going. All right, now, before I go to the next item, you know, I always tell you that if you send me photographs of your work, I'll use the photographs and show you. I got some. Time for the pictures. We're going to start the gallery with these pieces by Gerald Moore. This is really nice. The segmented piece in the top center is especially helpful. The next is by David Hobbs. David didn't say if he made the rose or not, but looking at David's work, he probably did. Joe Winkler put together a solid piece, a segmented piece, and a tiki light to brighten up his day a little bit. Nice work, especially done on a small lathe. Gary Schiadoni has turned out a pair of bowls. These are nice. Good grain match. Harry Keel did a bowl. Harry didn't do the central lathe, just a bowl, but it's a nice piece of work. And Bill Buck turned out this pepper mill. Bill, I couldn't resize this picture to get it to where they could see the detail on it, but thanks for sharing. And Terry Fry, he's into duck calls. Now, this is a simple duck call, but not all duck calls are simple, and that's what Terry shows us in the second one, adding a band and some other features to it. So there you go. Nice gallery. Thank you, gentlemen. Woodturners, for sharing. All right, so you saw the photographs. If you've got a photograph, that email you saw across the screen, on this side to that side, I think, said capn@eddiecastellan@gmail.com. That's my only contact. That if you send it to me any other way, I probably won't see it. Why? Because I'm old and slow, and I won't catch it. So send it to the email address that's on the screen, and I'll be able to get the picture. And I like to use it. Oh, and if you know the wood is, Tell me the what. If you know the process, the formula, whatever, tell me. I want to share this with you. You do great work, and that's why I do this. It's not a time filler. It's not a TV station called a gray area. No, it's not. It's me showing you what people like you do, and that's why I want it. Why did I change my jaws? Because I'm going to put a glue block on this, and then I'll face off the glue block, and then I'm going to seal it with CA glue. Now, I want to show you all this in a ring demonstration. But I want to explain to you why we started this. Is I got to change the rheostat, then I can crank this up, I can make the glue block, I can the glue block, the wood block, and then I'm going to face it with CA glue. Why? Because it's porous, and I'm going to put this piece of plastic on with double stick duct tape. It's a nice product. I got a couple of rolls of it still in here. I need to find them because I used it the other day. Just like you, I didn't put it back where it's supposed to go. Hey, but I'm gonna put it on a double stick duct tape, and I don't want it to come off. Well, the tape won't come off the plastic, but it might come off the wood. So I want to create a surface on the wood using the CA, and I'm gonna put it on there and let it cure. About that long. And then it's not going to be sticky and tacky, but it'll seal the surface. Then I can buff it off with a Scotch-Brite. That's what I call a Scotch-Brite, the little pads. And then when I stick on it, it's stuck. I mean, it's stuck. Now, I want to show you a couple of tricks with that, and that you got to give yourself some relief. That's easy to do. That's why we're starting this. I came out today to change this part. Then I got another little problem. The demo I saw, the guy was taking a square piece and putting it on and spinning it. And like I said, you have those bumps there. We're going to try to get around that a little bit. I'll show you a couple of shortcuts on that. All right? I told you about SWAT being the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August. If you like details on it, SWAT Turner, SWATURNER.org is the website to go to. All the details, all the registration, the list of all the people, and that list changed every day. The demonstration list has changed. They've moved the more fabulous turners to larger rooms. Not knocking the other turners, but some people are going to get quite a draw. And move those to other rooms, and so they have more room for you. It's a lot of full houses. It's a lot of people. It's 1,000+ people every year that get together to talk wood turning, and there's no politics. You didn't have to join a magazine. You have to join a club. You have to do anything except pay your entry and get there. And you can even do the sales floor for free without paying the entry. Hey, I like that. And another thing, when you go to these demonstrations, I want you to notice one thing. It's right here. It's a shield. That's right, it's a shield. Oh, don't do that too often, it can hurt. But this is made by Uvex, UVEX. I think it was called a Bionic, but it's a Uvex shield, and I used a harder film on it than normal. I wear mine when I'm doing demonstrations, and nowadays, you guys, gals, wood turners, kind of drive the bus for my demonstrations. And after I've had a sick spell, I started watching my own videos and realized, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that. Guy the other day called me. He says, I caught you. You were in there doing something, and you put super glue on something. You didn't have your glove on. You had me. That's a really dumb move. Good way to burn the fingertip. Get a hole in it. A little bitty hole in it. It's just not good. Safety, 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 safety. If you're demonstrating, that shield should be as major part of your demonstration, if you are. And here's my point. I just went to one at a club a couple of weeks ago, and the guy was doing spindles with safety glasses. Okay, that's great. But he was showing this to novice turners. And I believe there's a responsibility to novice turners that you show them all the safety rules, none of the shortcuts. All the safety rules. So when this guy was turning all morning, I saw the pieces sticking in his hair, on his face and all that. And I remember a guy named Harry S. Langland, who was a great superintendent of mine for a long time, and a good friend, who told me 50 years ago, hey bub, if it hits you in the face, it will hit you in the eye. And he was right. And then that's before OSHA and all these people gave safety equipment. Then he got later on in a life, knowing Harry, knew him for 30 years before he passed on. It was, if it'll hit you in the face, it'll hurt you. And he's right. If that little piece of plastic came off that lathe, spinning at 1,000 RPMs, and it's four-sided, and I touched the tool up against it, like the other videos do, and that came loose, who's it going to hit? The guy across the street, safe. The little girl down the block will never know it. My mug is going to get it. And I'm at the age where if I cut, I bleed. Remember the days when somebody popped you and you'd, hey, yeah, I'm going to pop back? Now we're at the age where they pop you, somebody will wake you up and you'll say, what happened? What happened? That's the age that a lot of us are. We don't need to be exposed to the hazards. So let's take some care. Wear the safety glasses, put on the shields, protect your lungs, divert the dust, whatever you have to, but let's play safe, okay? That's key. I get calls about people about where do you get things. A guy called me the other day, I need a part to replace, I'm taking mine off my lathe right here. I have a handle on my, and this is an outlaw lathe company that I don't want to say the name on. And I called them and they said the part is $9.95 and the shipping is $17. And let me show you what it was. $9.95, $17. See that? That's what they were talking about. $9.95 and $17. I have no idea what this is worth from a good lathe company like One Way or Robust or somebody like that. But I do know what it is worth and what it cost at a place that I use called MSC Direct. And you get a lot of parts like the knobs and the pieces and the fittings and bushings and bearings and all that miscellaneous stuff. It's good to have on your, say, on your thing to kind of go shopping for. Now that was one thing. And today I had a great call called Admiral Warren. This guy was a fighter pilot. He's now retired, and he loves the turn. I mean, he loves the turn. And we talked through a dozen things. Next time we do photographs, I hope to show you a couple of his pens. I'm trying to email him across from how he sent it to me. But he, we got to talking about pick guard, about adding accent to pieces. And let me get this out. This is pick guard. This is plastic. This is a light gray on a dark gray on a light gray. This is black all the way through. Thickness about a 1/16. This is black with white with black in the joint. You see the little white showing, right? I've got it red, white, and blue. I have it green. There's orange. There's all these colors. The unlikely source that I picked this up at was grizzly.com on the pick guards. You take that material and you're doing a Celtic knot, or something like a Celtic knot, and you're doing layers through it. This is great. Saw the blank in half on an angle, put a piece in there, put the epoxy on it, epoxy. Put it back together again in a jig. When it cures, trim it out, and you'll have that line, 3 lines of white, black, and red, or whatever, going across the middle of your pen blade. Makes for interesting parts. Do it in jars, blanks, bowls, bottles, platters, anything. Let your mind run right now, and that's what's working at. Really good. It was great talking to Warren today about it. Sent him some tools, for one of his shops. And when we get together real soon, I'd asked you guys and gals about jar rings. And I've looked all over the shop and I can't find an example of a jar ring. How jars, two rings screw together, they're copper or brass, screw together to put a lid on a piece. Then the other day I realized my walking cane's got one on it. Yeah. Then I got to thinking about it and I asked y'all, and a fellow, pardon me, contacted me and said, I make them different sizes that you can use for urns and jars and boxes. I want to show you all those. I'm going to get them out and show you examples of them, how they work. This could really be a game changer for some of you guys, especially if you're into urns, because people like to have the fitted lid. And now I know why they had to be such and such a size, because they don't want you dumping the powder directly into the urn, and there's rules. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We started off this talking about the Lichtenberg burning and changing the chuck. Carl, beat that time, man. Go ahead. And not have to pick anything up off the floor. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm in the shop. I'm making shavings. What are you doing? Get out there, get busy. Oh. I'll be in serious trouble with management if I don't mention this. You know, we're only here because of Big Guy Productions. That's right. www.eddiecastellan.com. That's the website. That's where we sell cutters, bars, templates, doodahs, and all that stuff. It's all on a website. Under Cutters Only, guess what's there? Cutters Only. And then combos and other stuff. That's there too. So if you need that, check it out. Also, my phone number's on every one of those pages. It's at the end of this video, and I stick it around every place I can. I'm the guy who wrote the phone number on the inside of the men's room. I am. You need me, call me. You got a question, call me. You want to talk, call me. You want to share a photograph, call me. Let's talk about it. We're all in this world together, and none of us will get out alive. I am making a fun time. Get out in that shop. Let me run through my list again. I think I did it all. Bye.